Well, hello there. It's Bronwyn here again. And here we are at the final step, step 5. Can you believe how easy and simple this is? We're up to social SEO. So what I'm going to do is just go through this really quick, short presentation and let you know what you need to do and what you have to start thinking about daily when it comes to your social media. So from now on, I want you to kind of refer to it as social SEO because that's kind of what social media is all about these days for me as a marketer and a publisher of content. So basically, social media is vital in your mix, and you are, I know, doing this already, but now you need to do this with a new lens, the lens of social SEO and the 5-step marketing system. It's important because social sharing and I guess social SEO is all about engagement of content. So if you think back to, I've said it over and over that content is the absolute cornerstone of your marketing from now on. You are a publisher. So what you need to actually be aware of is that your content, if it's not shared, distributed, liked, tweeted, it's likely to kind of be more damaging to your brand in the eyes of Google and semantic search than otherwise. The thing that social media does, and there's different schools of thought amongst all the gurus and big nerds of this space, that there is a term called social signals, and unofficially, a lot of the gurus think that Google reads social signals. So potentially, it looks to see if anyone's engaging with your content. The other side of the fence is some schools of thought say, well, it's important because if people are sharing your content and engaging with your content, you're building your inbound links. So you're building the links that point back to your website. You're sharing your content. You're getting more traffic. So that is, I guess, the official story. So social media helps generate a clearer understanding of the meaning behind your content. It allows for better indexing of your content through Google Plus, and we'll go through that a little bit later. And it helps the Google, search engines and all the search engines establish your trust, reputation, and authority. If your stuff is being shared and engaged with, Google says, oh, these guys must know what they're talking about. Therefore, I trust them to present this information in a search, in a user search. So going back, it's all about the user. It's not about you and your website. Sorry. Now, the other important thing, the V's, we need to verify the veracity and quality of website content. So you need to be, I guess, as original as you can be. And thinking back when we talked about content, the garden variety just doesn't work anymore. Be as original and as local and as authentic as you can. Be inspiring and kind of, again, learn to love your business or your destination again. So I guess the thing is we need to understand is that search and social are now inextricably linked to SEO. You can't get away from it. So what you need to do, social media, yes, it is extremely important. But what I like to do is advise that you start growing your digital assets on your website or, YouTube channel or whatever you want to do. The reason being is that if you throw everything, all of your money or, sometimes more importantly, your time at social media as opposed to your website, you don't have control over that social media platform. And if we remember a few years ago, Facebook one day came in, people had built huge businesses on Facebook alone without having any other sort of, I guess, owned media, owned assets digitally. Facebook came in and said, okay, I'm going to make you pay for everybody to see your content now. And they did it overnight, and it left so many businesses unstuck and in a really poor marketing position. So what you need to do is focus on using search and social media, as a distributor rather than, I guess, its own platform. So what I want you to do is focus on building your content around your website and then using social media more as a distribution of that content. Now, of course, if you're taking photos and videos on the run, yes, upload it, because this is still giving social signals. This is still telling Google that you are active. So when we talk about being active and pushing content out every day, it doesn't have to be on your website. It can be your social media accounts, because your social media accounts are linked via the URL to your website. So the search engines know that your social media activity is linked back to that website, if that makes sense. So if you remember back to when you create your social media accounts, you always have to put in your URL. That's how it makes sure it knows that your website and your social media is connected. So bear that in mind, that all of this content, yep, you can do it on the fly, no problem at all, because Google knows that that social media account is attached to your website. So in saying that, I touched on this before, it's best to have a small army of engaged followers rather than thousands of followers that don't engage or enjoy or share your content. So always remember that it's not the more the merrier. It's it's the quality. Always go back to the quality and revisit every now and then if your content is being engaged with, and try and think, why does no one comment or share my content? So, and the thing about social media, it is social. So, be sort of aware not to be flogging your stuff all the time, not to be selling. Make sure that you're telling great stories, taking beautiful pictures, visuals, videos of your place. It's okay to sell, but every now and then, it's okay to bring up a great deal if you have one. One of the other things to keep mindful of is hashtags are really, really important, particularly when it comes to Google+. Make sure you group all of your hashtags and choose maybe 5 or 6 hashtags that you use on a regular basis, and this will help Google find that information. Now, again, I'm going to hear you moan and groan. Google Plus really is the secret sauce here. So what you need to know is that Google indexes all of your Google Plus posts, just like this, just like I'm showing you on the right hand side here where I've promoted my webinar. So, it's there. Again, if you're loving Google's products, it's going to love you back. So if you post as a public post, so in Google Plus you can post as private and you can post as public. In Google Plus, always, if you can, post as public, because they will always be indexed. If you're publishing private posts, say sometimes I post only to my tourism circles, it will be indexed amongst people in my tourism circles. So the thing is, you can actually segment your Google Plus people. So make sure you post all of your content on Google Plus. Post daily if you can on Google Plus with your hashtags and so forth. Tell stories, tell little micro blogs. If you've got a lovely picture that you've just taken, we'll just talk about it. So again, make sure that you are, treating Google Plus as the secret sauce. Your competitors really aren't going to be on Google Plus. People are sort of increasingly getting onto this, but no one's doing it really, really well at the moment. Build engagement if you can. Build a following if you can. It can be done. I've been working at my Google Plus profile for quite a few years now, and again, it started a few years ago when Google switched over to semantic search and Google Plus and all that sort of thing. So I've been experimenting, and a lot of my posts come up as indexed Google posts. So it really, really is important to this entire mix So you can't leave it out. You've got to get to know it. Now, what I'm going to show you now is a really good example of who does it well. I do search high and low for great examples of tourism content, and when I see people doing it well, I've been keeping an eye on Visit Greece for a while, and they've been on Google Plus for quite a long time. They were one of the first ones on there, and it really is a beautiful site. So let me go in and I'm going to show you. I'll show you my profile here. This is me. This is my account. My profile is here. I have nearly 1,700 followers. A lot of these, I've made a lot of friends within Google Plus too. It's interesting. There's a lot of specialists in there. I get a lot of the information of what I'm teaching now from Google Plus, because I guess all of the believers in semantic search are hanging out here because it's good. So, have a play around, have a look around. I've started this group here, a community, Google Plus for the travel and tourism industry, which I'm regularly a part of. But let's just go in and have a look at Visit Greece. It's a really lovely, dreamy social media platform. They have nearly 3 million followers. That's amazing. But like I say, they've been at it for quite some time. So there are lots of small operators as well. I'll see if I can find some for you. But have a look. Look at that. Doesn't that look really Greek? And that must be Mykonos. Oh no. Astipaleia. And as you can see, they've got really dreamy content. They've got hashtags. They probably could write a little bit more. But, they have great content. They have lots of food. They have lots of visually beautiful images. Look at that. Yeah, the food stuff always makes me want to go to Greece. They do it really well. Look at that. So, and they've got lots of fabulous filters that you can use, just like on Instagram, I guess. But again, all this stuff's indexed by Google. You can see they publish everything to public. Oh, yes, I do fancy peas. So it's a really good site. So what I'll do now is I'll see if I can see some smaller operators. Home. Oh, that's Visit Greece Home. Hang on. Oh, here we go. So you're probably going to see lots of people that I follow. David Amerland is the semantic search guru. Lots of food. Here is a smaller one. Far North Queensland Apartments. They've been on again for a few years. They've worked up to 204 followers now, which is pretty good. They're these people too. Hotel Valuations. Again, they've been on for a few years. And I just want to point something out to you too. You may remember at the very start where I talked about trust, reputation and authority, and how when we were shared by David Amerland, who has millions of followers and he's the absolute guru, and I met him through Google Plus, and I've learnt a lot, and a lot of our teaching today through this course is from David Amerland. Now he has I shared something of his today about branding and engagement with brand. And he's delightful. He's made a comment. He's commented on my post. So that probably, what that would have done today is given me a trust boost, if you like. So David Amerland is the absolute guru on semantic search, and increasingly semantic search is about brand and personas, those basics that we talked about. So he's commented on my my share. Well, I shared his, yes, but Google would have indexed that, taken notice of that, and would have indicated, well, if David's commented, we do regularly communicate. It's really, really good for my SEO and, generally speaking. So that's about it. So what I'm doing now is um, I'm going to put all this up there.